everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Hello, happy Monday to you. Happy Make It Monday to you. Today is a wonderful day for a $19.99 deal, let me tell you. So if you're new to our channel, welcome. I'm Stacy. I'm the owner of Scrapbooking Made Simple. You have hopped on at a really great time because Mondays are the days where we bring you this huge retail value for this itty bitty teeny weeny tiny little price. We do. It's an amazing event, and we do it every Monday, 5 p.m. sunny California time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're joining me during that time, well, hello to all you out there live chatting with me. I'm going to type in hello, hello. Today I have Marianne Designs for you. Just one bundle. The bundle is almost $100 worth of product. Like I said, $19.99. So we get all the time, how does she do that? How does she do that week after week? We negotiate hard. You see me smiling now? That's because I got the deal I wanted. And then we pass all that savings on to you. This is a way to help keep crafting affordable for many of you. I know things are getting so darned expensive out there, and here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, we really don't want you to feel you have to choose between milk and eggs or maybe a new pad of paper or something pretty to play with. Because of course, for most of us, crafting not only is a creative outlet, but it's a way we decompress. So Mondays are where you take advantage of a huge value for that tiny little price only while supplies last. So we do have a limited number of bundles available, and sometimes they sell out like bing bang boom. Holy smokes artichokes, they're gone within a couple hours. And other times they linger for a while longer, and they stay in that Make It Monday category until they're gone. So can you get this in our retail store? Oh, you bet you can. Yeah, we have an actual retail store that you can walk into if you're anywhere close to sunny Southern California. We're in Canyon Country, California on Soledad Canyon Road in the Taco Bell Plaza. We're kind of on the wrong side of the tracks over here in Canyon Country, but we can afford the rent, so it works for us. But if you are anywhere close, come by. We're open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if you're local and you want this bundle, give us a call so that we can literally pull it off the shop floor for you. Take it right off the shop floor, put your name on it, put it away until you can drive on in to pick it up. The rest of you, online, because this is something you can't get anywhere else. There isn't any other company ever that has had a type of deal like this every single week. Our Make It Mondays are wonderful. And every week it's a different manufacturer. It's a different deal. I never know exactly what we're going to have until I finish negotiating the deal. And then it's like, score! So today, Marianne, it is a 9-pack. So there's 9 different items in here. Can you guys hear that? I'm in the back studio, which really isn't a studio. I literally have taken a wall in the middle of a room, and it looks like Mary Lynn is working right there. So I have everybody working around me, and they all have to listen to me do the class. But the sirens just went by, and I didn't know if you could hear it because now that I'm not in Mr. SMS's office, I'm not so close to a window anymore. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so the bundle. One bundle retails for $98.94. Your price is $19.99. It has 9 different items in it to make up that bundle price, and you are going to get all of them. It comes to you just like this. We bundle it. Well, most of the time we bundle it. Sometimes the manufacturers bundle it for us. Maybe it's about a 70-30 split where we do the bundling and the manufacturer does the bundling. More towards the manufacturer. Thankfully, they do more of the bundling. But it comes to you just in one package. We do not sell the individual items open stock. It's either $19.99 and you pay the price of admission, $20 to get the whole thing, or you let it pass because it is not sold open stock. Today I'm going to walk you through the bundle, show you everything you're going to get. I'm going to play with one of the dies in the bundle because you need to see how much it can do. Yeah, you need to see how much it can do. And then I have beautiful samples from SMS girl Claire. She did all the samples for you today. And mwah, what is that? Chef's kiss to her samples. They really are stunning. So let's tilt on down. Let's get started for today. I'm going to show you what's in the bundle, and then we're going to play a little bit, and then I will show you the finished samples. It is available right now for 20 bucks. You can go online right now or call the shop and we'll hold it for you. All right, down we go. It's good to see everybody. Happy Make It Monday Day. I hope you're live chatting with us. Say hello, hello. Tell us who you are, where you're from. Tell us if you're a newbie, if this is the first time you're ever doing any kind of crafting, or gosh, tell me if you love the bundle, if you think the bundle's just meh. It's good to hear everything. You got to hear it all. You can't just hear only positive. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I don't know about this one, but it's good for me to know. So here's our bundle. Let me open it up and let me take out everything that's inside and show you what's going to come your way. So first things first, cute little die. So you actually have two dies. You have here the frame, and then you have the center die. So you can use them independently of each other, and you will see a sample where Claire has cut out our cute little cherub. Our cute little cherub. Isn't he cute? So first die. It does have more of a wedding-y, Valentine-y Day theme, but there's lots to be done with it. You'll see in her samples, oodles to be done. Here we have a beautiful kind of leaf heart. It's just lovely. But this is the die we're going to play with because I think this die is underestimated a lot. So die number 2, another heart die, where again, you've got just a solid heart as a frame in the back. Here's one die, and then another, so that you can make the shadow. And this is so detailed and so intricate. It's so pretty. And of course, just with the big heart die, you can do all sorts of types of flowers and doilies and easy peasy. And then we have hello. Big guy, hello. This is a beautiful die. It has detail for days, and Claire made a beautiful sample using this die. Absolutely gorgeous. Then we have a stamp set. So you're going to get the dies. You've got sentiments here, and we've got love and cherish. We have together forever. A very happy I do day. Oh, I like a very happy I do day. We have to your happiness, wishing you lots of love and happiness. Just married, loving kisses for the Mr. and Mrs. There's just the best is yet to come. There's a little bit of everything on there. So I like the best is yet to come for retirement. You have the key to my heart for Valentine's. Just married because then they got married. Cheers for New Year's. There's just a little bit of everything. To your happiness. So a great little stamp set. Then we have 3 individual sheets. Now they're going to come to you stapled together. And these are topper sheets where you fussy cut or die cut the images out and use them in your layouts, on your scrapbooks, use them in your junk journals or mixed media. So 3 different pages, and they are all 3 completely different from each other. 6 on each page, which means you have 18 toppers to play with. And this one's so cute. Love that. And then the last thing I have for you is the paper pad. It's A4. Again, this is all by Marianne. So Lovely is the name. And it is double-sided paper. Love that sheet. Soft romantic colors. Oh, I love that sheet. I love that sheet. I love that they are all double-sided. Ah! And they just look great. Can I get that? There we go. So the bundle, and you've got solids on the back. So you've got patterns on the front and solids on the back. This is a beautiful sheet right here too. It's got that like water drop inking, alcohol inking look to it. So pattern on the front, solids on the back. So your bundle for $19.99 is the A4 paper. There are 16 sheets of paper in here. It is all 3 of the topper sets, which are going to work with the paper pad. It is the stamp set. It is the big, beautiful die, and then 3 of our hearts. All of this comes to you for 20 bucks. Now, I drink a cinnamon dolce latte, no whip, no foam, venti when I go to Starbucks, which is pretty rare, but that drink is now like over $7. So 3 Starbucks or all of this to have in your collection to play with for, I don't know, ever, because the dies never go bad. The stamps are good forever. You'll go through the paper, but you're gonna make some pretty things with it, right? So you decide, 20 bucks, is it worth the price of admission? I think so. All right, I'm gonna put this aside and we're gonna play with one of the dies. And I said we were gonna play with this die today, and we are, because I think it's underrated. I think I'm gonna show you what happened, and then I'm gonna tell you about how to use the die. So Claire was using this die as she was making the samples, and she put it in the die cutting machine. Let me bring over my Sizzix Big Shot machine. So she put it in the die cutting machine. It's a wafer style die, a chemically etched die, and you know it's a wafer style because it's wafer thin. I've got my base platform, I've got my solo shim, I've got my cut plate, which as you can see, it works as a painting plate, and you can see my cut plate is pretty darn warped, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I've got my die and a do not cut plate over the top. And a do not cut plate is any cut plate that you just don't cut into. It helps keep everything from warping. It sends your dies through your machine a little bit smoother. So I send it on through, easy peasy mac and cheesy. This is not an intricate die. You would think it is. Looking at the die itself, you'd be like, oh, where's that precision base plate, Stacy? No, you don't need it. So she cut it out and she popped it out, and she was expecting all of these little cute little leaves or embellishment or part of the decor to pop out with it and just fall out. But ultimately, what she got was this. And she's like, hey, wait a minute. We're missing something here. Why didn't all those little pieces fall out with the die? Well, I told her, turn the die around, look at it. There's no cut lines around all of those little leaves. You've got a few cut lines here and there, just to add a little bit of negative space between some of the leaves, but for the most part, there is zero, none, nada, not a one. All the leaves are just open space. They don't have that little ridge that you can feel on either side of the die. They don't. She's like, so what do I do? Well, we can stencil, we can emboss and stencil. How about we stencil first? So it has these little little holes in them. Get a black piece of paper. And you'll understand why it has some of those itty bitty little fallouts that kind of go around some of the leaves. But that's okay the way it is. It does look like it's missing something. So let's start again. Do it again. And we're going to continue. We're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to do a wash, rinse, and repeat. I don't know how old everybody is out there, but I used to have Agree, was it Agree shampoo when I was a kid. My sisters used to use it. And that was the directions on the back of the shampoo. Wash, rinse, and repeat. And I used to love the smell of the apple. Oh my gosh, it used to smell so good. All right, so I've got my base plate. I've got my solo shim. I've got my cut plate. I've got my paper. I've got my die. And I'm just gonna send it on through. Not intricate. I don't need to have a precision base plate. And now I'm just going to pop up. Well, I don't even have to. I could leave that background on. Now I'm going to grab some ink. And I've got my Stacy Park Jacquard dye-based inks here that we're playing with, which are on sale right now as part of the YouTube Yummy. And while the die is still in place, I'm going to throw some ink around. And because the die is metal, all I have to do is take a baby wipe to get the ink off my die once I'm done. And I'm just going to take some ink and we'll put it around. Some red, which is my Red Delicious, and my Dragon Fruit Delight was the pink. And then I think I'm going to throw in some grape juice. Now, most of my inks are named after food. And that's because the first time we started naming inks, I was having Claire and Elena, and it was during lunch, and they were hungry. And so every time we opened up a new color, I showed them a new color to name it. It came out to be food related, so we've just gone with it. So a couple colors. And here we are. Kind of looks like a hot mess. Hot messes are good. So I can take this and throw this away if I want. And I can take that and I can throw that away. And then I can pop my die right on out. And what a difference. Those little fallouts, just pop those little fallouts. They're itty bitty tiny. They're just there to help show off the detail of the stenciling. So I didn't emboss, I stenciled. Now you could go through there with embossing medium, absolutely. And then throw embossing powder down after you take the die off, sure, why not? Lots you can do. But look at the difference. Meh. Wow. Look at how pretty is that once you've inked it. And again, I haven't embossed it. I can do an embossing with my Big Shot machine. And to do that, you need something called a squishy and a knock-knock. Squishy, knock-knock. Those are kind of important. It's what allows paper to be pushed up into the negative space It's what allows paper to be pushed up into all of those holes that don't have a cut line around it. All of these holes that do not have a cut line, we're gonna take the squishy and a knock knock and we're gonna use it in place of one of our cutting plates. And it's going to allow us to then go in and emboss. So I wanna cut the die first. That's the first thing I wanna do, is actually cut the die. So grab some paper. And just like I said before, do a wash, rinse, repeat. So my base platform, my solo shim, my cut plate, my paper, and my die. And send it on through. Forward, back, easy peasy cutting. Then I'm going to take my solo shim off. And I'm going to add my knock knock plate, which is really called an impression pad, and my squishy, which is really called a silicone pad. And I believe that this is called a transfer and emboss set, is what I believe it's called. I'm going to put that knock knock down first. I'm going to put my squishy second. I can take and get rid of the background, keep the die in, or the die cut in the die. I'm going to put my paper down first. So, well, my paper's in there. I don't have to do that. Okay. And then my do not cut plate. And I'm going to send it on through. I'm going to turn it this way. The paper needs to go against the squishy. Paper needs to go against the squishy. And what's going to happen is, as I go through the roller, the squishy and the knock knock, they're going to force that paper up. It's going to add enough pressure to force that paper to make an embossing. So you can see that now it has pushed that paper into all that negative space, so that when I take it out, instead of just being flat, it now has that texture of that design all around it, as opposed to being flat. This has no texture. This one has been embossed, similar to an embossing folder. So then I pop the little pieces out. And I can absolutely use it like this, because it makes such a difference when you add that embossing element to it. When it's just flat paper, it looks odd. You don't quite understand why the shape is the way the shape is. But once you add that detail of the leaves, it absolutely makes sense why it is the way it is. But can I emboss and stencil? Yeah, you sure can. So we'll start again. And we'll start with the die cut. So I have to take my squishy and knock knock off. I have to bring back, because we're die cutting, I have to bring back my solo shim, my cut plate, my paper, my die, and my do not cut plate. Send it on through. Easy peasy die cutting. Then I'm going to take away my cut plate. I'm going to take away my solo shim. I'm going to bring over my impression pad or my knock knock. I'm going to bring over my squishy. I'm going to put my paper against my squishy. No matter how you do this, the paper always has to go against the squishy. If you were to turn the sandwich around and do it in the reverse, you still would need to have, so if I had a cut plate down first, and then I had my die faced up, and then I had my squishy, or and then my knock knock, no matter which way you do it, your paper always has to go against your squishy. And then I'm going to send it on through, and you're going to see that the squishy is going to come out the back end. We want that squishy as the pressure is being pushed down on the plate and the die, which is what it's supposed to do. That squishy is forcing that embossing, and it's growing longer and longer because it's being compressed down. Look at that. See how long it gets? You know you're doing it right if you've got the squishy coming out the back end. If you remember, squishy out the back end, you're going to be just fine. So I've got my... Now I can get rid of this, and I can come in and I can ink. Remember, it's a metal die, so my ink is just going to come right off with a baby wipe. And now I'm going to have the stenciling to add the color, the embossing to add the depth, and the die cut to add the shape. One die, so many different ways of using it. Okay. So the middle, pop it right out. The die. Pop it right out. And now I've got the texture. I've got the dimension. You can feel all of that. And each one of those little leaves is perfectly stenciled because I use the die as the stencil. So whether you want to do the die cutting, the embossing, and the stenciling, or you want to die cut and just stencil, can you use the die as a stencil alone and don't do any die cutting or embossing? Sure, absolutely. So here we've got just flat paper. Here we have embossed paper, texture added to it, but no coloring. And here we have both, where you feel all the texture in there and you have the color to elevate it just that much more. But, well, actually, here we have, here we have plain. Here we have die cut and stenciled only. Here we have die cut and embossed. And here we have die cut, embossed, and stenciled from one die. But can we use it with pattern paper? Sure, why not? Or colored paper? Sure, why not? Let's see what Claire's left for me here in the pretty paper pack. That's pretty, right? So what if I die cut? Send it on through. Bring it on back. And I just do some very light coloring. Just to show off the leaves, the stenciling aspect. So let's see what we got. So I can get rid of the background, and I can get rid of the center. And now instead of it being on white paper, I have it on a light shade of pink. So not quite as bright. Not quite as bright as the straight white. A little bit more subtle, a little bit more toned down. I mean, I could get in there and I could make those colors really dark. But let's go ahead and let's do an emboss. Maybe I do the emboss on this side. Oh, maybe I can get one right there. Okay, that's good. So let's do an emboss. So first things I always have to do is I have to cut the die. Send it on through. Bring it on back. Remove my solo shim. Put down my squishy and my knock knock. Bing, bing, boom. Put it right down. Paper is against the squishy. Put on a cut plate or a do not cut plate. It makes no difference. Send it through as that pressure is pushing and forcing that embossing to happen. My squishy's coming out the back side. That's what we want to see. And now I've got one that is embossed on colored paper. And it really does just amplify it. You can see the shadows from the embossing. Even if you choose not to color it, it just amplifies it and takes it up to the next level. But then, clean up my die. I've got a couple of those cuts in there. A couple of those fallouts. That looks better. Then we can do all three. We can cut, we can emboss, we can stencil. Look at that, and I made some extras for me to save. So we're gonna come right back and we're gonna die cut again. You do this 4 or 5 times and you have learned this sandwich. You have learned the order in which to do this. The squishy and the knock knock pad are probably the most underutilized tool that Sizzix makes, without question. People will buy dies and there won't be any cut edges on the detail, and they're like, well, what is that for? Why did they do that? They did that as an embossing feature to the die and a stenciling feature to the die. So if they've given you that opportunity for creativity to take the die and make it more than what it was just all plain by itself, use it. They built it into the die for a reason. So I've die cut. Solo shim comes out. Squishy knock knock goes in. Paper goes down against the squishy. Cut plate or do not cut plate over the top. It makes no difference. Send it on through. Watch that squishy start growing and coming out the back end. And then we are ready to stencil. And a little bit of ink makes it all different. It changes everything. Just like the embossing changed everything from just a flat piece of paper, a little bit of ink changes it all over again. Pop my center out. Pop my die out. And you've changed it. You've changed it again. Now, we went from plain embossing, which you could sand because this is white core paper and it would show up a little bit, to a die cut and stenciling, no embossing, to all of it. Die cutting, stenciling, and embossing, all of it. Each one of these is distinctly different, and yet each one of these can be used and are beautiful on their own. This is so subtle without any ink and just the embossing. It just adds that texture. And this is so pretty with just the die cut and the stenciling. It doesn't add any dimension, and you might not need to add, you might not be looking to add dimension to the make that you're making, or here you've got it all. And this was done on colored paper as opposed to white paper. And you choose. You choose what it is you want to make and how you want to make it, because Marianne, with that embossing element in that die, and I believe the big die also has, an embossing and stenciling element. It changes everything. It takes something that when you die cut it out and you look at it and you go, I don't get this. I'm not happy with this. This is not working for me, to this, and all of a sudden it is magical. So the bundle has 3 hearts. These 2 hearts are strictly die cutting. Everything's going to cut out. This is the heart here that has the embossing and stenciling feature. This die also has an embossing and stenciling feature. All of these little flourishes do not have a die edge around them. They're meant to be embossed and stenciled to help bring out the detail of everything else. So we've got the big die, the 3 smaller hearts, the 2 smaller hearts, the floral heart that has the stenciling and embossing detail. We've got the stamp set. We have got the 3 sheets of topper set. And we have got the paper pad, all for $19.99. And that is a great value. I can't pass it up value. Skip some Starbucks. Love Starbucks. But I'd rather have this. We don't go to Starbucks anymore. Not anymore. Not so much. So here we go. Now, Claire has done some beautiful samples for you. And she used items just in this bundle. So let me pull them out for you. She's done an amazing job. So with the paper that comes in the paper pad, in fact, I used that sheet. There's the background to that paper, because that's the paper that I used. So the background, and then, so she used just 1 sheet of paper for the matting and the decor paper, cut out and done, the topper. Here she used some of our pink cardstock. This is the paper that's in the paper pad. Here's the heart that gives you the shadow, and look at how pretty and intricate that is. And then again, paper from the paper pad. Oh, and the stamp. And she used one of the fallouts. She used, see that piece right there? This little piece right there? That's this piece right there. She used the stamp for Love and Cherish. And this is wishing you lots of love and happiness. Again, you've got the paper from the paper pad, the topper. She added some satin gold paper, but this is also the paper from the paper pad. That's how it coordinates so perfectly. You've got the stamp set going on right here. And how cute is this? So she took the background heart that comes in a solid. She cut that in a solid pink, comes in that full-size solid. Then she cut it again in the polka dotted pink, and then the matching color over the top. And the very last thing she did was cut the Cupid out of silver, and she just snipped him out and layered him right on top and paper pieced him right on. And then a very happy I do date. A very happy I do day. How cute is that? This card was super simple to make. It's darling, Claire. Love that you just snipped him out of silver and then laid him right on top. Oh, okay. So, you want to see where she snipped him out of the silver? Here you go. Here's our congratulations to the newlyweds. There was a cherub in there. He's gone. The heart is still beautiful all by itself. She snipped the cherub out and put him in there. Cute. The heart's darling even without the cherub. It's darling on its own. Maybe you don't want the cherub. Snip him right on out and look at what you get. All done with the paper. And this has got the floral heart that we were using today. Oh, she did. She used the owls. Look at the little owl topper. Really cute. Easy cards. Easy embellishments for your layouts. And then the last card, she used a topper and she used the paper. And it's that beautiful big die that just goes all the way around it. And it's got areas that it pulls up. The leaves pull up, the flowers pull up. They don't cut all the way out. They pull up and leave dimension. So this is today's, let's see, this is today's Make It Monday event. And it really is just beautiful. For $19.99, you can't pass it up. But we only have so many. They could be gone tomorrow. It could be 3 weeks from now. I have no idea. That's entirely up to you. But I hope you love what we've brought for you this week. Marianne does a great job. Her Make It Mondays are amazing. And $100, what is it? $98.94. For $19.99. That's a wahoo chew in anybody's book. So where do you find it? Scrapbookingmadesimple.com in our Make It Monday category, or come into our retail store and say, hey, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're here, we're open. You can come and see all the samples. You can touch them, take pictures of them. You can look at the bundles. You can see if there's any older bundles left. All here for you. So it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com with today's Make It Monday event. When do I see you next? Wednesday for our In the Studio with Stacy, where we take fine art products and paper crafting products, we pair them together and we make magic happen. We do. This month, for the entire month of January, we are working with Ecoline watercolor brush markers, and they are stunning. The next 2 classes I have for you are wow classes. I think you're going to enjoy where we move to where we take those Ecoline markers for the next 2 weeks. And if you haven't ever seen an In the Studio with Stacy class, there is a playlist on our YouTube channel. I do a class every week, and it really is trying to bridge the gap between fine art and paper crafting. So it's me. I'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining me during the live chat if you were live chatting. And until next time. Bye, everybody.